I'm just waiting for that stream to show up. Clickety, 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 clickety. There she blows. Yikes. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. So it shows up pretty quick. Hi, good morning, everybody. I got you plugged in, but it didn't show up. Hang on. Voila! So we got a big show today. We're going to jump right into it. Good morning, everybody. Jan wants to know if people will copy her videos at Miss Milky the Clown and Miss Milky the Clown 1, I'm sure, and that and repost them up at websites. She has a lot of videos, folks, on both sites. Good morning, everybody. Elaine, just cruising. Daniel, it always takes us a couple minutes to warm up to the stream. Anybody's not familiar with this? It's a stupid amount of work. What have I got done to us? I got us popping up everywhere. Oh, I see what. Okay, let's get back into the game. Good morning, everybody. And I never got just cruising, everybody. And just cruising was asking about my hard drive, how that works, how I render all these little skits and everything else. I'm going to record this in high quality at the same time. So hang on a second. Let's start the show off. I'm kind of disoriented. Let's start the show off with a quick ba-boom. It's not doing his thing. It's the morning of June the 10th. And I got to look over there, 2060. I'm Dana Durnford, nuclearproctologist.org. And you can find these videos and Fukushima presentations throughout the entire internet. And just a quick reminder to everybody, Jan Brooks, Miss Milky the Clown, is asking people to please upload her videos at Miss Milky and Miss Milky the Clown 1. Let's see if she'll pop up. There you go. I kind of got it squeezed here. But anyway, that's a good idea because she has the whole history of the last 5 years at those two sites. You'll find links below. Good morning to everybody. Alex, Daniel, Shanikin. Good morning, folks. Now, the sad thing about this is your comments won't be there after the video renders and pops back up. I'm recording in 1080. I'll repost it up at livestream.com for a change in high quality because we're doing a stream here already. And that reminds me, I'm going to get rid of this stream right here. There should be a Geiger counter down in the corner, up in the corner or something. Oh, I smurfed that up, eh? Hang on, I'll fix that. I got no idea why I've done that. We'll put that up in the corner. Yeah, put that up in the corner. That's a live Geiger counter. You can see it rattling that time. And I'll bring the comments back up. And once again, you know, folks, just to do anything like this when you're by yourself is a stupid amount of work, and it always takes a couple of minutes to get the streams up and running. There is no way around that. But it's also a great thing to be able to communicate with the population that is out there, got questions sometimes, we catch them, and we need to do stuff like that. That's coming in the future, stuff like that. Unfortunately, our future right now is, I got to bring that one back. I'll bring it down to the lower right hand. I'll put it up in the top left hand corner. How about that? I find the top corners is easier for people to spot. Now, 5 becquerels you throw away the food in Germany. 3 million children with permanent disabilities because of Chernobyl. Many will die prematurely. And to put that into context, Japan has 3 multi-reactors. That's Unit 1. that's unit 2, that's unit 3, I'm sorry, that's unit 2, that's unit 3, that's unit 4, and that's what the building looks like after they tore it all down. Now the thing about these reactors, they're going to shoot murons through the reactors, and the reactor is not there. Number 4 is not there, and number 3 is not there to do it with. We know number 1 is all gone, and we know number 2 is confirmed to be gone, and they shot the murons through it. Let's keep going back. And so, the Globe and Mail. This is a really strange one when you think about the Globe and Mail. What the Globe and Mail does, it's Canada's #1 print media for some reason. And what it's doing is it's selling uranium stocks and it's hiding Fukushima. And then it's demonizing and vilifying anybody that talks about Japan. And it done that to me. And then it had a strike on my account for 6 months when I got arrested for something I didn't do. And that the 2 videos I was alleged to have said naughty things in, when I was in jail for 12 hours, those 2 videos got ghost accounts on YouTube, struck them and knocked them down. They were the 2 videos I was charged with. So the court here in Canada, in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, didn't use a court order to take down the 2 videos that I'm charged with and vilified with in the Globe and Mail and the CBC and the Japanese Times. No. They didn't use a court. Now, I had court orders to take down a Benghazi video on my site, Beautiful Girl by Dana. If you look that up, I put the video back up again, and I showed screen captures of that court order. And so it's not like court orders have never been used before against me. They have to take down videos, and I put the video back up. But now what the Globe and Mail done, and so this is really interesting and really important. We set the stage for what actually happened here. Now the Globe and Mail sells uranium stocks. Good morning, everybody. Like they're going out of business. And what the Globe and Mail is doing is people that don't know any better. The Globe and Mail is convincing people to go buy stocks, and then they buy stocks before they put it up in the paper. And I'll explain that to you coming up. So they buy stocks, then they tell everybody the stocks are hot, and then people buy the stocks, and then they cash in at the end of the day after enough people read their paper and bought stocks, not understanding what the Globe and Mail is actually up to. Canadian researchers targeted by hate campaign over Fukushima finding. Now look at the date on that. That was November the 1st. On November the 4th, I was arrested. Now, so they were in the loop. This was a Sunday last year. And 3 days later, I gets arrested. Now, the warrant was issued on that day. Here, I'll move myself over a little bit. Not that that matters, but just to make it easier for everybody. That didn't work. Oh, I see what's going on. Dana, stop bouncing around like a bouncer. Okay. So Canadian researcher targeted by hate campaign. They were talking about me on Sunday. Now the police know me. They don't see any reason to pick me up until Tuesday night because the judge is only here once a week. Now this was a private police force that year before attempted to have me arrested twice. That year, 2015, they had 2 incidents where in videos where I said something that they had stacked up. And then that was January and that was October. So November the 1st, they came out with this headline. November the 4th, they arrested me. That same day when I was in jail, November 3rd, that night, they picked me up November the 4th, 12 hours later, I was out of jail. And so the Globe and Mail had contacted me and said, and I had put out a video where I said I was arrested for criminal harassment. Okay. Now, the Globe and Mail, I'm going to come back to this in a second, but we got a lot to get through. We're going to be an extended show. Charges laid against BC man. This was 5 days later. They posted this one 2 days after email, or the day after an email exchange with me. And he said he watched my video, Mark Hume. Now, this person in particular, this whole Globe and Mail, they sell uranium stocks. And so, like, I'm the worst thing imaginable because I'm here in British Columbia where they're too. And so I had just done 260 days on the ocean and 15,000 miles of the coastline. So when I came ashore, they had these charges stacked up. They waited until November the 1st, then he came out with that story. Now let's come back and talk about that for 1 second. And we're going to get into the Globe and Mail heavily coming up here. Non-nuclear guy, I'll look over here on this one. Non-nuclear guy never expected the world of Haiti encountered. Now this is pre-arrest of me. The warrant had just been issued. They ran over to the Globe and Mail to get out their version of the events, that there was a hate campaign against somebody at the University of Victoria and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. Now, I'm not allowed to defend myself. I'm not allowed to mention their names. They took down 300 of my videos on my site after I got out of jail. But when I was in jail, there was 2 strikes launched on my accounts. There was 4 videos, attacks. 2 of them were strikes on my account, so I couldn't do a live stream or anything else like that. Which is what I would have done when I got out of jail, to say what happened. And this is what I had been doing all along. And now, that lasted for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, I was up for 1 day. The Globe and Mail video that I put out in reply to what they'd done to me had a strike on it. 6 months later, knocked me down off YouTube again. That was 2 weeks ago. But I got that one overturned. I'm back up and running. So the Globe and Mail has worked really hard to get rid of me. Just before I got arrested, there was 30 of my videos. 2 weeks before that got knocked down. And they tried to take, that was in an attempt to take down my actual site before they came out and arrested me. Right? That was to try to get rid of anybody finding out what's really going on here. When I was arrested, there was over 60 articles came out and pounded these people. I wasn't allowed to come out and defend myself. This is unheard of in Canada. And now the judge at one of the court appearances has said that I'm not allowed to talk about bananas, potato chips, or walking in the sunshine as context. I'm not allowed to have context for why I was upset with Woods Hole and the University of British Columbia, because of the scumbags like Globe and Mail, Mark Hume in particular, which is nothing but a degenerate lawyer. Now listen to what he said about me, because he lied right here in the newspapers. We're not going to do the first couple of paragraphs. Non-nuclear guy, that's the person I'm charged with. I'm not allowed to mention his name, so I'm not allowed to defend myself. But he was able to come out in the media and smear the shit out of me. See how that game worked? These are the people that lied. I proved the lie. I went out and proved there was damage to the coastline at the same time, because these people said nothing showed up. But we're going to talk about that coming up. Non-nuclear guy never expected the world of Haiti encounter when he began to post scientific information. This guy is talking about bananas and potato chips and walking in the sunshine. That's not scientific information. That's murder. That's outright lies. That's outright savage, vicious, violent thuggery. That's all that was. That's not coming out and talking about man-made radiation. It got nothing to do with bananas. About the impacts of Fukushima. And I'm not allowed to say that person's name. Think about that, from the University of Victoria and Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. And these are the 2 biggest speakers in the planet. Public speakers, you're not allowed to criticize them. I'm not. You are. Criticism was anticipated. Yeah, really? Really? Why? It was like a banana or a potato chip. If that was true, why would you get criticism? Because it wasn't. So criticism was anticipated. And then the Globe and Mail, the biggest media in Canada's job is to sell uranium stocks. That's their job, man. And steal your money. When you invest that day, they cash in. They bought the stocks the day before, they cash in. As you buy stocks, the price goes up, they cash out. That's your money they stole. And they've been doing this for, 70 years or something. This is a deceptive, unbelievable scam. This is a pyramid scam right in our own country in Canada. Billions of dollars a year being scammed from investors. They're looting the investors now because Fukushima means the death of the nuclear industry. And so they're keeping it afloat to liquidate people's assets. Oh, no, it's coming back. The price is going to come up, you know. It was like a banana. Honest. So, non-nuclear guy, criticism. After the Japanese nuclear reactor melted down, there's 3 melted down confirmed. Just like I showed you earlier in the video. 3 nuclear meltdown. So he doesn't put downs or nuclears, or he doesn't put multiple meltdowns or something like that. It's totally deceptive, right? Just that sentence alone. See? Following an earthquake and a tsunami, fears arose. What do you mean fear arose? The modeling was out there of the dispersals, period. Worldwide, institutions all around this planet had modeled the dispersals. And he knew that. Harvard came out, Stanford came out, MIT came out. I'm not going to play those videos today. We're just going to keep rocking and rolling. Let me get through this anyway, otherwise. So this was about me. Then he started getting death threats. Well, I didn't know about them back then, these people you're talking about. That wasn't me. See? Right? But you just equated it with me. After the Japanese melted down reactor. See, this is just utter disgusting, because this is 2015 when they wrote the article, still can't admit multiple meltdowns. Because that would end their easy mass thievery that they're doing to the Canadian stockholders of uranium. Fear arose that the radiation would pollute the Pacific and spread to the Canadian West Coast. To address those concerns, which didn't go away even after ocean scientists, what about nuclear scientists? Ocean scientists can't report on nuclear, morons. Reported relatively low levels. Oh yeah, okay. We'll get back to that one in a second. Okay, so the next 5 days later, charges laid against BC man who called for the death of Fukushima researcher. Those two videos that I allegedly called for the death of Fukushima researchers, this conjecture that they're putting there, were knocked down in the 12 hours I was in jail. These are old videos with ghost accounts, not court orders. I was charged with the videos, but the courts didn't see fit to give me a court order to knock them down. But they seen fit to come out and smear me with... Now he, in the exchange of emails, he alluded in the email that he watched the video that I said right away that I was charged with criminal harassment, not death threats. Totally different charge. So a British Columbia man who posted a video that was knocked down when he was in jail, don't bother mentioning that, by ghost accounts, not court orders. How come? Calling for the death of scientists who research. These are not scientists. These are nuclear puke machines talking about bananas, potato chips, walking in the sunshine. They abrogated their degrees the minute they opened their mouth and said that. And they're not even nuclear scientists. Has been charged with 2 counts of criminal harassment. 2 counts of criminal harassment. See, he says it there. Criminal harassment. Charges laid against call for deaths of researchers. You see how that game is working? The charges were laid against Dana Durnford of Powell River shortly after he posted a video that he watched on YouTube defending the attacks. What attacks? How is it an attack to come out for 1 whole hour and finally snap and say these people are disgusting maggots? Huh? And then have everything, all that 1 hour excluded from court, and then just a sound bite. And not even that. Not even me saying it with the pictures in the background of the documentation. No, typed out. And not allowed to use the 1 hour video as my defense. And not allowed to use bananas and potato chips and walking in the sunshine as reason for me being upset in the first place. You tell me I'm not being set up. You tell me I'm not being murdered by this Mark Humes from the Globe and Mail who got away with what he done to me. Or thinks he has. Nuke puke machines, chemical oceanographer at the University of Victoria, and another researcher, which is from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution. I'm not allowed to talk about them, not allowed to mention their names, but they're allowed to come out and smear the shit out of me. The Globe and Mail reported on Monday, nuke puke coordinates a research. This is a person who got $600,000 to go tell you it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine in your communities. And then has used an orchestrated collective of students at the University of Victoria to harass us on the internet and in the communities where we were, to contact the hotels. That was these people. Because they're telling... Now, let's get into the story of what they're really like, on top of everything I just showed you that time. You got to appreciate what they're doing there, is they come out and accuse me... How come that looks like that? They come... Oh, yeah, that's because we're on that one. Hang on. I smurfed that up. And so... Let me get that down here again. There we go. We're okay. So Coffee Anna. 3 million children for something that was 1/3 the size of any of the reactors in Japan. This is 3 times the size of Chernobyl. This is 100% meltdown, melt through, melt out. This is 100% meltdown, melt through, melt out. 3 times the size. It had reactor cores on the roof. Here's 100% meltdown, melt through, melt out. Gone, all gone. The entire inventory is 3 times the size. 3 times the size. Well, it was. But they also had reactor cores on the roof for the last 10 years. All of them. They're like 40-year-old plants. Used to look like that, 10 stories. Now they're a couple of stories. We know that was empty. They shot the Murans through it. Okay. Now let's get back over to the Globe and Mail. Let me kill it over there. Yeah, good morning, everybody. MJ, Shanigan, M. Thirst. Okay, here we go, folks. So the Globe and Mail has come out repeatedly. Now, think about this one here. Tokyo, and I'll have to be looking up at that one, which to you would be a different way than I'm looking. Tokyo area soil testing finds radioactivity up to Chernobyl levels. 919,000 becquerels. Let's try a different formula. 919,000 becquerels. 919,000 becquerels. Okay. Now what is that? That's like 1 million becquerels per square meter. What's a square meter? It's the size of your tabletop. What does that mean in relatively terms, though? It means that 40 million people are in dire states, and that the manifestations from this will take a few years to manifest, and they are heavily. Japanese journalist and plutonium escaped because its parent daughter is a gas. Escaped Fukushima reactor as a gas. It was a colossal 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures. Now we got reports last week confirmed there's still chain reaction going on under the reactors. He finally come out and admit it. It's devastating news. I've been telling people this for a long time because we got the documentation of the releases constantly ongoing. Plus, if you look at the modeling of how it all works anyway, right, and that the fact that they've been emitting all along, they can't find anything, we're going to start burning through. But 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures is game over. So if you've got an apartment building, and anywhere in that apartment building, for instance, it hits 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures, that's bye-bye building, okay? So it's no different from these reactors. And remember that the reactor pools that were throughout the building, and also the big ones, the main ones that were up on the roof, they have different pools throughout the building. But the main ones that were on the roof, none of these pools have containments around them. They're just pools. So when the buildings blow up, that was all gone instantly. There is no containment around the pools. That's where the reactor cores are too. And so let's keep going on the headlines. Let's run in, and we'll start running into it. Fukushima, the most terrifying situation you can imagine. So that was David Suzuki. I'm not going to cover that one. But David Suzuki had to come out and retract that statement. And I will cover that one. He had to retract the statement because all he had to do was come out and say, the buildings look like that. Now, he was talking about number 4 at the time. So all he got to do is say, we're worried that the reactor stuff that's left inside of that somewhere is going to collapse. Right? That's all he had to say. But think about Seth Dorn talking about
of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour,
how he's inside of Unit 4, right? And so that's not Unit 4. All David Suzuki said was that was a lie. Here's what it actually looked like. And then David Suzuki wouldn't have to come out and humiliate himself. But he couldn't do that because he told the truth originally. And an international concern about a catastrophic open-air meltdown. Yeah, that one I had chopped off, unfortunately. Supports. Because sometimes when you click and you're grabbing them, you screw up because you can't check until after. Japan's Fukushima Daiichi plant is the world's worst nuclear reactor. The Globe and Mail, which is a lot of those headlines coming up in a minute. Fukushima has humanity on the brink of a possible worldwide nuclear holocaust. And the world as we know it has changed. And the effects on our health is incomprehensible. I got to learn to stay looking at the screen, otherwise. Pregnant women get free new houses if he moves back to Fukushima. Right? Mark Hume would probably move his own sister and daughter and wife and everybody down there to prove his point to me. Oh, Dana's safe down there. I'm going to sacrifice them because we'll just pretend nothing happened. From the Globe and Mail, which is all this coming up in a second. But I want you to understand so desperately what they have done to the investors and why you should never invest anything with any of these medias. When the media says stocks are good, it's because they just bought a whole bunch and they're waiting for you to drive them up and then they're going to cash out tonight or tomorrow. That's how that works. That's how it always worked. Why would you trust any of the media? Go look at what they're saying. How they lied and lied and lied and lied and lied. And coming up, I'll show you. Am I already showing you? Just endless lies that they told you. None of the stories they told you match up to the story I'm showing you. It's as simple as that. Because their job is to lie to you and their friends and their families and their loved ones and suck that money out of them. And then cash in at the end of the day or the end of the week or the end of the cycle. It's just a cycle to them. They don't care about you. They care about your money. That's how they got to where they are. That's why they got what they got. That's how come they got hired for the job, because they're soulless, spineless, heartless, moralless imbeciles. They will kill everything on the planet for another check. These are murderers every time they do it. That's murder. What they're doing, they're murdering people's life. They're stealing people's life savings with the scam. Work all their life in factories and everything else. They don't care about them. They'd run them over the road and steal it out of their pocket if they could. For the first time, officials admit the shortage of workers. Modern slavery. You won't see Harvard down there. Not going to see Yale. Not going to see Berkeley or MIT or Stanford. They all went to Chernobyl. All of them. None of them going to Fukushima. There's too many X-rays and neutrons and gamma bursts. Your clothing ain't going to protect you from that. Melt your organs. I wanted to escape from the nuclear plant. See, this is what they should do with Mark Hume, and everybody at the Globe and Mail should be sent down there. And if they try to run away, they should be shot as they're running out. At parties, we were forced to eat radioactive mushrooms. That's what people should do with Mark Hume and the Globe and Mail staff. Caterers should slip in a whole bunch of these Fukushima mushrooms whenever they bring over food to them. Get fucking rid of them. At parties, we were forced to eat radioactive mushrooms and bee larvae gathered from inside the evacuation. Terrifying people, the immigrants, the homeless, the destitute, kidnapping them, bringing them in there and killing them. Workers are tricked to being on the front line. Like, the immigrants don't speak the language. They don't got no idea. You want to make $100? Yeah, I'm desperate. I'm starving. I got a family to feed back in my country. Oh, come on with us. Mark Hume probably owns 50% of those companies that are doing it. They keep me in a shed. That stuff like Mark Hume would do. Anybody would vilify and demonize someone like me the way he done, I can assure you, kidnapping kids off the street and sticking them in a cage for the rest of their life is something that would probably appeal to that person. They don't have emotions like me or you. They don't see the end results like me or you. They don't have compassion for life like me or you. They don't care about life, period, like me or you. Globe and Mail, all they're worried about is how many uranium stocks they can pound out before everybody wakes up and understands what happened. Fukushima radiation, 10%. See PBS. Risk of getting cancer, very, very small. Government limits to 20 millisieverts, very conservative, because they based their ideology up on natural radiation. That's how the game is played. Natural got nothing to do with it. These people were allowed out on the roof for 25 to 30 seconds to a minute after a while, and then they went home. And they distribute the doses out over thousands for each job. In Fukushima, there's the homeless and the destitute and the migrants. These people, 25 seconds on a roof and run. Go home, never go to a nuclear power plant again. And over 1 million of them went through that power plant. Fukushima, homeless only, destitute only. Oh, Dana, there's 7,000 people there every day. Like, fuck there is. Op-ed rips PBS Fukushima documentary. Miles O'Brien, cavalier treatment of potential increases of cancer. Have you seen the stuff Miles O'Brien has said? He's pretended he's inside a Unit 4. I kid you not. He's inside. He's done a documentary. Let me turn the volume down for a click on it.
Superintendent Akira Ono. He runs an unprecedented...
Look, he's pretending he's at Unit 4.
That will not be done for decades. To see it,
They're pretending they're at Unit 4, folks. That's what they're doing.
The long-term solution.
Right? They're pretending that that building you're looking at is that building there. This is what they're pretending. They're in there walking around. Watch this. This is Miles O'Brien.
Unit 4, they have begun.
See, they're pretending that that is somehow related to that. Yeah? And Globe and Mail is selling you that. I'm showing you the reality, the documentation, the information that the reactor core and the reactor pulse is up high. There's no high left there. There's no high left there. And we know it's confirmed that's all gone. It's confirmed that 1 and 2 both are all gone. And that is gone. You don't need to be a genius to understand 4 is gone. Or that 3 is gone. Do you? Do you? Huh? Do you? Huh? Do you? Well, maybe you should go watch Miles O'Brien. Frontline Fukushima radiation, 10% to Chernobyl. Well, 10% to Chernobyl, 10% to that building, when the reality of it is you got 1 reactor gone, completely gone, 2 reactors completely gone, 3 reactors completely gone, 4 reactors completely gone, that are 4, each of these are 3 times the volume, 3 times the size. Chernobyl was a 30% meltdown. These are 100% meltdowns. But this is the Globe and Mail's game. They don't tell you about that. They don't tell you that. They show you this stuff. They don't tell you that either. Inexcusable muddlings of fact. Now what the Globe and Mail is, their profit's going to double if you buy uranium stocks. You got to dig up a mountain. You got to get hundreds of train cars to get a gram. You got to pollute an entire country to get your hands on enough to run for a couple of years. Fukushima radiation, the nearly inevitable rises of the uranium sector. See, the Globe and Mail can't help itself. That's how it survives, is selling uranium stocks, selling evil. They know what it is. They're not stupid. They're journalists. They're not morons. They're murderers. Cheeseburgers and fries are much bigger risk to our health than cesium. But Miles O'Brien is just a moron who's out there lying to everybody. 4 times higher. Japan's evacuation zone, which is 20 millisieverts, is not how you measure radiation anyway. You measure radiation by the becquerels, by the atomic decays, by the atoms floating around that you're going to suck in. Yeah? Yeah. These people didn't know what they were going up against in Chernobyl. And we don't know what we're going up against because people like PBS and Miles O'Brien are out there pretending that they're in buildings that don't even exist. And so that's what the Globe and Mail likes to do. Green energy, we can't dismiss the nuclear option. You got to dig up 400 train car loads of ore, right? You got to break all that down and pollute all the water to do that. And then you're using hundreds of train car loads of chemicals to break it down. And then you're refining it in the yellow cake, what you call a yellow cake. It goes through a chain reaction. There's another yellow cake that gets thrown away. But ultimately, you ended up with a gram. And you got to have 3,400 assemblies, 80 rods in each assembly to run a power plant in Japan. Hey, I'm streaming, buddy. Yeah. And we're still in good timing. Let's keep going. So green energy, how can you get something green? Look, here's a better way to think about it. Was that reactor mitigated all the benefits of all the other reactors in Japan? That accident, that single building. And so Japan's reactors are shut down. A couple they reopened. The 3 they reopened, 2 of them got shut down because the local citizen took them to court and said, well, we can't trust TEPCO because all he do is lie. Here's all the lies. How can we trust him here? And so the judge said, yeah, no, you're right. And same thing with Chernobyl. When you think about Chernobyl, that mitigated all the nuclear power plants' profits or mitigation effects or carbon so-called credits immediately. It's a perpetual misery machine till the end of time. So one nuclear power plant mitigates in every aspect of that word every nuclear power plant on the planet. by proxy the minute you have an accident. And we have many of them. Like it or lump it, coal isn't going anywhere. No, coal is the most popular thing on the planet. We have coal mines have burned on this planet from lightning strikes long before the humans showed up. Coal, you can live alongside of it for 20 years. Coal pouring into your house all the time. And you get sick, you go away, you'll be okay. Drive by a nuclear power plant, suck in a radioactive atom, 20, 30 years down the road, you got to liquidate your assets. It's a given. It sequesters in your organs, in your muscles, in your bones. Your body attacks with white blood cells perpetually till the end of time, till you build a sarcophagus. Look at the numbers up there. In Germany, 5 becquerels, you throw it away. You throw your food away. Look what I got going on in my home. 160, 130. There was 220 there when I was looking just before we went live. 2 explosions occurred at reactor number 3, very similar to Chernobyl. At least several hundred pounds of plutonium ejected. Gee, I wonder why they're saying it might be ejected. Huh? Well, because it doesn't look like what Miles O'Brien says it does, or Globe and Mail says it does. It looks like that. It looks like that, when it's supposed to look like that. See? That was the game, right? So the Globe and Mail, no, nothing going on down in Japan. Oh, the prices are poised for a violent move. A violent high. Give us your money now. We just bought all those stocks this morning. We got to cash in by the weekend. We got helicopters and jets to fly on. We're going on vacation. After you give us all your money, morons, it ain't never going to climb. If it does, it's just fakery. Lucas London, right? Think about Lucas London. He's buying up all the uranium, and Globe and Mail is his crony. All they want to do is murder you. That's all the Globe and Mail is interested in, not the truth. Not telling you about Japan allows 20 times more cesium drinking water than near Chernobyl. No, don't tell you that. Oh, no. Tell you, why the uranium prices are poised for a violent move high. Well, every one of these headlines that I'm showing you were wrong. Every one of them. From the Globe and Mail, people invested and people lost their money. Every fucking time. And there's a sucker born every minute and the Globe and Mail knows it. Lost track here. Here we go. I went down. Stop doing that, Tina. Lethal threat from Fukushima. Highly radioactive water flowing in the Pacific Ocean is a threat to life. Chernobyl was 600 kilometers inshore. And Japan is right on the ocean, baby. No bill set to raise civilian liability to $1 billion, which is nothing. That's nothing. You got any idea how much money TEPCO has already chewed up? You got any idea how much money Hanford has already chewed up in America? Liability is a joke. You're the liability. You're paying that liability. You're sucking in radioactive atoms. You're liquidating your assets. Think about this one. People in Canada get cancer. They go to the hospital and they inject chemotherapy, nuclear waste. That's what it is, nuclear waste, into their loved ones and kills them. Everybody dies except for 2% at best. They probably didn't even have cancer. Chemotherapy, you are not going to live longer, study after study after study, than you will if you don't get it. If you got cancer, chemo is not the solution. Nothing the medical industry has ever, nothing. They've never cured cancer, so why bother? Go eat natural food, organic food, full of nutrients and minerals and vitamins. Yeah? Novel idea. Watch out though. 95% of your supermarket is GMO. Guess what that don't got? That don't got the calcium normal concentrations. Or the magnesium or iron or carbon or cobalt. They took calcium from 6,000 parts per million, 6,200 parts per million, down to 114 parts per million in corn. GMO. So you have to eat 425 GMO corn on the cob to get the same amount of calcium as in a normal corn on the cob, organic corn on the cob. Your whole supermarket is like that. And Globe and Mail loves GMO stocks. Whoa. No bill set to raise civilian liability. Fears marine life is being poisoned. Experts, TEPCO, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Globe and Mail, hey, can Japan recapture its coal? Country government-backed multi-million-dollar bet. $400 million. That's what they blew on an ad campaign trying to make cool again. All of that money they're blowing is to bring in for the Olympics, because the Globe and Mail, like everybody else, the creeps out there, they always cash in on the Olympics. See? Big money for these people. Fukushima effects may be worse than those suffered in Chernobyl. Maybe. And anti-radiation herbs like turmeric can help. And turmeric has over 1,600 peer-reviewed studies on it. 1,600. You can put it on wounds to help get rid of scars. It's like incredible. Like it's amazing. Put a spoonful in a glass of water every day and plug it back into you. At least do that. It's dirt cheap. Make sure you don't get GMO stuff, but it's dirt cheap. Uranium stocks. Oh, see? You got any idea how disgusting and despicable that headline is when you think about what's going on in Fukushima? But they can't help themselves because they're disgusting, despicable people. After Japan makes nuclear U-turn, so everybody said, buy these stocks, came out the same day, the day after, the day before, buy these stocks, buy these stocks. And so they keep doing this over and over and over and over, raping everybody in Canada, raping the people who worked honestly for their money and stealing it all with stocks, or the most they can out of them. Over and over and over, they've been wrong with their stock calls for the last 5 years. And they keep milking everybody, the Canadian taxpayer who don't know any better, got some money to invest, thinks the Globe and Mail is legitimate when they're actually mass murderers. That's what the Globe and Mail is. Mark Hume is an assassin, a character assassin, and every word of that. Soon he won't have anywhere to hide. His friends, his family, his loved ones will find out what he's like really soon. His days of running free and being a Mr. Big Shot stock investor are coming to an end. People are going to hate his guts when they find out what... Like, you think about what the Globe and Mail is doing to you? Done to you already. Have you lost money with the Globe and Mail? You better keep watching these videos. Important to remove molten cores for hundreds of years. Impossible, rather, if ever. Flows of contamination from the plant will be virtually impossible to stop. Not will be, but are. We don't have any technology to deal with that. We won't even try. We only send in the homeless and the destitute and the immigrants. How can we expect anything to get solved? Well, nothing's going to get solved because the Globe and Mail is not going to tell you that. They're supposed to be the biggest media in Canada, but they're the biggest rip-off pyramid scam in Canada. That's a pyramid scam. These are ripping off hard-working Canadians left, right, and centre all day long. Every time they put out these headlines, that's what it's all about. They just bought stocks the day before, the week before, the month before. Now they come out with the headline. Hey, you got a bunch of stocks, we got to cash in ours. Prices come up a little bit, we got to drive them up a little bit more. Mama wants a new Hot Wheels. That's what these people think about. That's how they act. That's what they're doing this morning in their coffee shop, in their coffee room. That's their game on the telephone. That's what they're texting each other. Set the stage for another one. We got to cash in. Why did they come out and break the story of taking down Dana Durnford, the nuclear proctologist? I wonder when there was no takedown of any legal ghost accounts on my YouTube channel. Took down my 2 videos I was accused of and arrested for. Not a court order. YouTube ghost accounts. Why I was in jail. So stack the criminal charges against me. Get ready to raise the stocks. Knock Dana down. Humiliate him. Try to anyway. Globe and Mail done it. They're the worst ones. They set this all up. They work with a private police department and the University of Victoria, Woods Hole Oceanographic, and the FBI. Not only that, these people colluded to censor me on Google, on YouTube. That's in the court documents. 12 hotels, 12 ferries, 3,000 kilometers of court, and I still got 2 more court appearances to go. Growling seeks a future. That's why I'm so mad today. Water with nuclear fuel coming up from the ocean floor off Fukushima coast. That's because the rods blew up. The buildings blew up. They're right on the ocean. They blew up and threw the rods all over the friggin' place. The rods were, the roofs were full of fuel reactor cores. These reactor cores are kept upstairs for 10 years. Okay, Dana, but there's no upstairs. So what does that mean? It means going everywhere. Like, you got to realize what really happened there. Hang on one second. The story of Fukushima is really something, isn't it? Right? You can't get power in there. Let me explain that to you very quick here. So, that's not it. This one here, I'll just pop myself over here for a second. That's not going to work. Well, I got the extension cord, but I don't know where to plug it in. If we don't plug it in the next 18 hours, we're going to lose all those reactors. If they survived the tsunami, I don't know how they could have survived the tsunami, but they say get an extension cord and plug it in. I don't know where to plug it in. I can't find any receptacles. Right, and how are you going to get power in there? Huh? How are you going to get power? How are you going to get power into that? Well, I was over at number 4, and I couldn't find set Dorn, so I came over here to number 3. And I can't find the mixed oxide fuel. Now they say this reactor here is 2 million times. I'll kill the volume on that one. But look at it. How are you going to put a plug in there? How are you going to get power in there? How are you going to hook up a supply in there? Huh? So even if they did get power lines ran back in there after the tsunami ran through the place, how are you going to hook, where are you going to plug it in? What are you going to plug it into? Why are you even going to bother? Why would you care? Why would everybody even say that? What do you got to gain from saying that you're going to hook up power to something that don't exist? Well, so you can sell more uranium stocks at the Globe and Mail. Hide it all away, pretend it's not happening, sell more, loot people's pensions, loot the pension funds in Canada, loot everything in Canada, everybody that worked all their life for their money, because, hey, I work for the Globe and Mail, I have diplomatic immunity. Well, in Canada, sorry about that. That was touching the leg of the camera, and you probably got feedback that whole time. See, you know, you get feedback on my videos because I don't, you know, you need an office where you put all the equipment out in the next side of the building, a studio. And like my equipment, I can run 2 shows live streaming at the same time and recording at the same time, both shows. 2 different microphones, 2 different cameras for each of us. You can run more microphones if you want than that, but I'm just saying I can run 2 different shows in 2 different studios with the one piece of equipment. How cool is that? And record it in high quality at the same time. And if I ever get the kinks out of it, I can stream to 3 different sites at the one time. Blah, 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 blah. But you need a bandwidth. I don't have that out where I'm told. And so, you know, these are just things I got to conquer. Right now I got to finish a book and finish the documentary, and then I also got to get out on tour coming up really quick here about Fukushima, the whole Expeditions for Life and everything else, because that has to get done. We have to accomplish that sooner than later, and that's so important that most people don't understand it. But this is what the Globe and Mail done to me. Here's how I see what the Globe and Mail done to me. All he said was it wasn't like a banana or a potato chip or walking in the sunshine. This is kind of severe punishment, isn't it? But that is what the Globe and Mail done to me with those articles they wrote about me. That's the problem with the Globe and Mail. They're thugs. Growling sees a nuclear future. Here's another picture from the Globe and Mail. The thing about this is 30 million one-ton bags, but no radiation got out. Right? That's the Globe and Mail for you. 30 million. That's 5 lanes of traffic right around the entire planet. Unprecedented phenomenon also from using salt water. Globe and Mail, don't worry about it. 3-year chart, boy. Here's the phenomenon. These spherical hydrogen peroxide, sulfur, from spraying salt water on 9,000 degree Fahrenheit temperatures, for instance, which is what they done. Because, hey, they had to look like they're doing something. Spears of radioactive material, ball-like particles composed of radioactive cesium, iron, zinc, and 12,000 radioactive isotopes, solid and insoluble in water, impact on the human health needs to be examined. These were actually nuclear bombs. You can put 1 million and 2 million on the head of a needle, you can't see it. If you get one of these fellers inside of you, you can read it from the Geiger counter over by the like fucking 5 feet away. Boom, boom, boom. So it's pounding through your DNA and chromosomes every second till the end of time, till you build a sarcophagus 10, 20, 30 years down the road around it. Now you get diagnosed, got cancer. In the Globe and Mail, you got to buy stocks in uranium. Tuesday's analyst upgrades and downgrades. We already sold our stocks over there. We don't care. We put all our stocks there last night. That one's hot. You got to go buy that one. They don't tell you they put their stocks there. That's what they do. You can't trust these people not to do something like that. If you were there, would you do it? If everybody else was doing it, would you do it too? Everybody else made 100,000 last night. Would you want to make 100,000 too? And one day he struck you. Hey, that was somebody's life savings every day that you stole. That was some family's hopes and dreams you stole and put in your bank account and went down to the strip bar and blew it because to try to drink your conscience away. You are parasites upon humanity. That's what the Globe and Mail is. This junior uranium explorer is generating bicycles. We bought them all last week and now we want to cash in because our hookers don't take visas. So these sulfur peroxide hydrogen buckyballs, this is hell on earth. Everything about nuclear is hideous, including the Globe and Mail. The Globe and Mail is all about you. They put all kinds of other news out there. It's just nitty. It's all about the stocks, baby. It's all about selling the stocks to the slaves. Right? We don't want people to know what they're doing. Their families need to know. That's the only people who can ever actually reach these people is their friends and families and loved ones. Got to get in their fucking faces. Got to hold them accountable. Before this planet finds out what they've done and holds them accountable the good old-fashioned way. Good old vigilante justice is coming. If we don't get some rationale out there at some point. That's what will take over. That's what I'm terrified of, is vigilante justice. I want to do it legally. I want to hang them all in the streets legally. I got no issues with it. U.S. government kept worst case. These are murderers and thieves. These are vicious thugs. Possibility of radiation exceeding safe levels for thyroid in Alaska. No, boy, scientists are baffled by the sea star glue. No one's baffled, buddy. They use water like we use blood. And that history has shown that they were the first ones impacted. They were the most vulnerable in the ecosystem. Like fish concentrates it up tens of thousands of times. Filter feeders concentrate it up hundreds of thousands of times. So clams and stuff like that are so dangerous. Controversy after U.S. government tests showed 40,000 microsieverts. Gee, I wonder what the Beckles of that one would have been. See, that's how they hide it. But that is frightening. That's inconceivable. That's unimaginable. That are not released to the public. No, go buy our stocks. They're going to jump. They're going to jump because we're going to hide that. We're going to hide that. We're going to hide that. We're going to hide it. You're going to hide it. So you can sell more stocks. And think about this one. 40,000 microsieverts. It was hit. I wonder who hit it. Here's a little 44-second clip. I'll adjust the volume down and I'll come back up. Because we know how bad that can be on people who's listening to this.
There was a small study that was set up using the same ultrasound equipment and the same skilled group of medics doing this, because a lot of the results come from the skill of the people operating the equipment and the technicality of the equipment themselves. And they actually found that the frequency of thyroid tumours and thyroid nodules was exactly the same. In fact, it was slightly lower in Fukushima prefecture than it was in the other three prefectures they looked at.
So where they had the accident is going to be lower than it is somewhere else. But anyway, listen to what she says.
But the caveat to that was only about 4,000 individuals who were studied. And that's not a big enough control group really to draw strong conclusions from.
Was that published?
I'm reviewing it at the moment.
Yeah, that is the most scariest thing. Imagine that lady is the one in charge. I've covered her. Her name is Geraldine Thomas from UK, Dr. Geraldine. She's in charge of cancer victims. She is a disgusting parasite. Not as bad, well, yeah, I guess as bad as these people. She's frightening. She definitely got to go, man. People like that should never be allowed to have a position of authority. Just like these freaks at the Globe and Mail. Why uranium stocks are jumping today? No, because you pumped them up over the last couple of days. Now you're going to get everybody to go spend their money so you can steal it. That's what you fucking do there. That's what you people are all about. Oh, the stocks are going to go up. Go buy these. Yeah. Go buy them. I liquidated the house last night so I can have enough money to buy them before we come out that headline this morning. And when you buy them, I'm cashing in. I'm taking your money and fuck you. That's what they do every day, all day long, endlessly. Everybody's there is doing it. These are the most disgusting parasites imaginable on our planet. These are fucking parasites. They are predators. These are vultures. Japan accepting 20 millisieverts of radiation is safe could lead to a public health disaster. No, not could, will. Has. Is. Nuclear watchdog recommends distribution. Look at the Globe and Mail. Oh, we get iodine fields. Are you people fucking stupid because you're reading the Globe and Mail? Yes. Well, what's going on is your iodine is going into your thyroid, right? But the cesium, any of these emitters like that will go right directly into your thyroid or into the muscles close to it. And like, say if it sequesters here, it's still pumping right to there. If it sequesters in here, it's still pumping right to there. If it sequesters in your foot, it can still pump up and every second pound into your thyroid and all the chromosomes and DNA throughout your body at the same time as it's doing it, because that's what it does. Your body attacks it with white blood cells no matter where it's to. But because the thyroid is a gland, it's not an organ, they can't remedy that without cutting it and giving you these incredibly destructive treatments. Because it's like cancer shows up to last. Thyroid is different. It's an organ. It's a gland. It dies, and so it rots. So you got to cut it out. See, but what's going on is your body is. If you got iodine, everything else is there, and just because you got iodine doesn't mean it's not. Everything's not going into your body. See, they tell you iodine is the tracer. They don't tell you that. Cesium is the tracer. They're still really bad. They're just tracers. Just 10 times more iodine-132 ionized and radiate your thyroid glands, 9 times more effectively if you got for every iodine-131, 30 times more iodine-133, 31 times more iodine-129 with a 15 million year half-life. These are dirty bombs. These came from a chain reaction. These got nothing to do with the solar system. That's why we have nuclear waste sites. That's why we have nuclear repositories. U.S. West Coast bore a significant brunt of hot particles. Globe Mail, don't worry about it. Can do, place to be a world player. Don't worry about it. Hot particles coming through. Forget that. Japanese fishing boat can find it here, but not hot particles, Dina. No, just because NOAA put out models, I'm going to speed it up. This is a 40-day model. But boom, there's North America. Right across the Pacific, right across North America. Just imagine that was a snowstorm. Huh? That never stopped for years and years and years and years because you can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or feel it or pick it up or throw rocks at it. Does that mean that didn't happen? And that this model is only based up on tracers? It's not even based up on all the reactors, not based up on the reactor cores that are on top of the buildings. No, don't worry about it. Go buy some. Fishing boats can make it, but not man-made radiation, Dina. Radiation can't make it over here, Dina. It's too tiny. Only the big stuff like boats can make it here, Dina. Everybody knows that. Only big stuff, Dina. Fishing pallets can make it over, sure. Boats can make it over, yeah. But not radiation, Dina, you kooky conspiracy theorist, Dina. Well, that's Globe and Mail for you. That's what makes the Globe and Mail so demented, is they have this ideology that they are somehow at the superior high ground. Think about these models, Australian forecasts. This is 4 days after the accident, based upon just a couple of days releases from a single reactor, never included the releases from that reactor, based upon the releases from this one. Not based upon that one, generally, or that one. Certainly never that one, and never that one or that one, ever, in any of the models. But here's the Norwegian Institute for Research. No, those models don't matter, Dana. Urad project. No, don't matter, Dana. You got Francis Iris. Don't matter, Dana. What matters is it was inside of a building that don't exist, Dana, because it survived, unlike all the other buildings in that prefecture, right? Yeah, this is TEPCO's official picture 2 months ago at the press club in Japan. Right? Gradually. It went from, wait for it. It went from here, from there. It gradually went from there to there. Yeah. Okay. In your dreams. Let's keep going. See, this is the quagmire that we're in. I'm just going to scroll down and find those charts. Well, think about where the people died throughout the coastline. Is the same spot where all the power plants were. Is the same spot where they picked up all the 30 million bags. Is the same spot where the radiation was distributed, or the country was torn up for 400 kilometers. 400 kilometers. There's 15 reactors that couldn't go in a cold shutdown. They went in the station blackout. And that a governor from Fukushima Prefecture strongly demands TEPCO decommission, dismantle all 10 of the reactors that were in the same area as the tsunami killed everybody. Right, tsunami killed everybody there, 400 kilometers of coastline. Look where all the nuclear power plants are, too. Tsunami killed everybody because that came through their neighborhood. See? Right. Yeah, do you get it yet? Do you understand what the Global Mail is actually doing to you? See, still not enough power to run crucial machinery. Think about that headline. Then think about how you're going to get power. Well, how you're going to get power in there. Extension cord, but I don't know where to plug it in. If we don't plug it in the next 18 hours, we're going to lose all those reactors. And even if you plug in that corner, how are you going to plug in those corners? Where are you going to plug it into in those buildings? Right? So the law is vicious, violent thuggery. That's what they're doing to us all the time. Just vicious thugs stealing your hard-earned money for uranium stocks and then telling you that it was your fault, pretending that you're the issue, not returning your calls or anything like that. I'm supposed to have a whole bunch of that modeling in there, but I don't see it. Yeah, you can't get power into something that don't exist, right? That's how that works. You can't get power in when all the reactor buildings are gone. Let's keep running through those headlines. We're running out of time. Nuclear reactor, nuclear material. So the Global Mail, no turnaround in sight for this uranium miner. No, because you guys just bought all the stocks. And you know now you got to just pump it out and then suck everybody dry and cash out, walk away like you've done over and over and over. This is what you do. That's what your whole history is about. But hey, don't try to explain yourself to stupid people like Global Mail. You're not the jackass whisperer, and these people are the jackasses. Uranium miners soar as Japan moves to restart nuclear reactor. They started 3 of them, 2 of them got shut down with court orders because the citizens proved you can't trust TEPCO ever. Time to buy uranium, see? 2014, September 28th. That was another time when they were trying to get me arrested in 2014. That one failed, and the one in February of 2014 failed to get me arrested. And then they stacked up 2 for 2015. When I came off the ocean, they implemented Operation Takedown Nuclear Proctologist, Dana Durnford. I'm Dana Durnford, nuclear proctologist. Denson mine plans, pure play. And this is what I mean by the nuclear proctologist is I show you what these people are up to. Now we know over 400 sailors with vicious illnesses. 400, folks. Global Mail, Fukushima, 4 years after the tsunami. Right? Fucking assholes, man. Not nuclear accident, but tsunami. Navy SEALs have radiation sickness. Ain't that what an interesting one? BBC work at Fukushima unit forces distraction. Real nightmares coming from 3 melted cores. Yeah? Don't worry about it. Great nuclear debate. Letter responding to the deep. You can't trust these people. Scientists back from Japan melt through Fukushima containment vessels. They can't locate any of the 3 melting cores. Don't worry about that. China can't do energy. She's promising future. Don't worry about the people. Like you won't see Mark Hume dressing up like that, volunteer to go in there. No, he'll steal your stocks. No, he'll buy them the day before. They'll put it up on their website. Those people, this is what they're up to. Uranium demand is putting miners. There's no demand. There's fabrication to suck money out of you. They get you to buy those stocks. That's what that's all about. Every one of those headlines is about buying those stocks, so they can suck their money back with a profit and fuck you at the same time. That's all it's about. Concern over plutonium, uranium being deposited reconcentration far away. The Globe and Mail, see, they won't give it up, right? Let Australia mine our uranium. We don't care. We can buy cheap stocks right there, right away, and burn the money. No, everything is about hiding what I'm talking about, Fukushima and the reactors. More takeovers seen uranium sectors after Ottawa makes a rare policy. North America received quite a large fallout. Incredible increases in cancer, leukemias, genetic diseases, not just in Japan, but in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly North America, because we're right across from the Pacific Ocean. See, the Globe and Mail can't help itself. It's just evil. No matter what it tries to do, it's evil. BC-based robotics, that's about uranium stocks. Nuclear, I'm horrified the feds abandoned Fukushima. Don't worry about it. Uranium, boy. Think uranium's bottom? The stock may be for you. Time to buy it now. Give us your money. Come on, we don't give a fuck. You worked all your life for it. We're going to rip you off the second you cash in, boy. You buy some stocks, we're cashing out. Fuck you. That's what the Globe and Mail does. These are predators. These are the worst of the worst. They don't even have a conscience. These are fucking thugs. Inexplicable that the EPA shut down the monitoring. No, don't worry about it. The Globe and Mail got some good stocks for you to buy, baby. Don't worry about the truth. Feds abandoned the Fukushima radiation mine. Oh, they got the stocks out there. Hidden no ammunition. Don't want that. Don't show that to people. We got stocks to push. Fuck that. We don't want to see this stuff. Hide it away. Get Dana. We'll just smear him in the media. Fuck Dana. We'll smear in the media. Oh, Dana, that's not true, Dana. We can't sell our stocks, Dana, if you're out there making videos showing people like that, Dana. So we're just going to smear the fuck out of you. Okay, we'll give it up. Otherwise, I'm going to start really getting pissy. 131 now detected in Austria, Czech Republic, Hungary. No. Buy the simulators because the stocks will go up. Average person, 10 hot particles a day. Don't give a fuck. Buy our stocks. Nowhere to run. Buy our stocks. Watch small caps. Very high concentration of hot particles. We don't give a fuck. We got stocks. We're going to make some dollar. We make dollar. Don't care. It's the most carcinogenic thing on the planet. We got stocks. We're going to make money. It's fucking everywhere. Don't care. Hide it. We got stocks to shake. Ontario backs away. Oh my God. But think about how evidence of sharp features. Health Canada knew right away. Here's the Globe and Mail, though. Stocks. You got to get us stocks. We got to make money. We can't survive unless we steal people's pensions. Friday small cap to watch. There you have it, the insanity of the insanity, and the craziness of the craziness of the crazies. No, forget it. Forget the truth. Ignore the truth. Pretend that it looks like that. Don't pretend it looks like that, whatever you do. Don't look at the real images of what the building should look like, and don't extrapolate the reality. No, pretend that they survived when everything else was destroyed. And most importantly, don't listen to people like Dana Durnford, who shows you the documentation, the information, who makes you reconsider and think and understand just a little bit deeper what's being done to you by the Globe and Mail, and why you should prosecute them if you have lots of money. If you made money off uranium stocks, you should donate to me. You should. That would be amends. Donate to Kevin Blanche. Donate to Radchick. Donate to somebody out there that's actually doing the job. You can donate to me, and I don't get donations. I got to pay for my website coming up in 2 weeks' time. That's another $400 to keep it up for another year at thenuclearproctologist.org. If you go over and look at that site at thenuclearproctologist.org and you think that that is worthy, then please donate and help. Please donate so I can come out and compel these people and these institutions to tell the truth, or to be held accountable, to be able to hold them accountable. And you can do that at thenuclearproctologist.org. Please donate. And you can donate at PayPal, danadurnford@hotmail.com. If you lost a lot of money to the Globe and Mail, you should donate to me, because I will constantly go after these people from here on out. These are thugs. These are vicious mass murderer and character assassinators on top of that. These people have no remorse for what they've done. They have no compunction. They know what's going on, but they have no intentions of being honest with you. They're going to come out and manipulate you and deceive you and not tell you about the documentation, not show you the information, not try to have a lucid conversation, not have a debate. No. We want your stocks, we want them now. We want your money, we want them now. We don't care you worked your entire life to get something. We'll steal everything you got in just a few minutes with a stroke of a computer clip by you being foolish enough to follow their advice and invest in anything they got to say. Never invest in uranium. Uranium is long gone. It's a history. They're keeping it alive. It's these people that are holding up the inevitable death of the nuclear industry, so they can rape you financially, so they can wreck the country, and so they can hide their crimes, and so they can have enough money to justify the misery their families are going to suffer when everybody finds out what they've really done. This is just the beginning of it. I'm just the tip of the iceberg what's coming. That's what I'm saying. people are going to realize what they've done at some point in the very near future as we produce more of this material. Then they got nowhere to hide. Then they're like these people. Well, these are victims. The Globe and Mail are not victims. They are the victimizers. They are the misery machines themselves. The Globe and Mail has no right to exist. It no longer performs a function that is useful to anything on their back pocket and their bank account and their Swiss accounts. These people are out of control. They're out of touch. There's no regulatory oversight that can control them, and that they're all in on it. And that the Globe and Mail has to go, and that we need thousands and thousands of people to show up in front of that place and stay there permanently till they're gone. We need to show that pyramid scam that they're doing, this and put them in jail and liquidate their assets. That has to be done, and that will be done. Not by me, but maybe. But certainly by people in the near future when they find out what's really going on. Like I show you today, it's not that hard to work out what they've done. If you were an investigator, you can go investigate these people. It's game over for them. They got nowhere to hide. They hide behind the moniker that they're a mainstream media and that they're honorable people. It's blatantly obvious they're not, that they actually are monsters, that they actually have no kind of moral compass whatsoever, and that they're vicious thugs, and that they will steal everything from you, give them even the slightest opportunity. That's what they do for a living. They sell the misery machine as stocks. It's disgusting. Hugs for everybody. Take care, everybody. Blazing Start. I'll come over and say hi. All right. Hugs, everybody. Oh, gee, guilty conscience? No, that's never going to happen. Elaine, you know it. Hi, Nip Killer. And you're welcome, Candace. Typical. Shanikin. Hugs, everybody. Shoni. Daniel. Yeah, bye, everybody. Yeah, Miss Milky. I don't know what the argument is about, but they always get the trolls in the comment section trying to disorient everybody. I'm Thirst. So hugs for everybody. Just cruising. And I don't know what all the conversation is about or who's fighting. Not much you can do. It'll all be gone in a few seconds. When Google renders the videos, all your comments will go poof, disappear, because Google loves you. Why have a debate there? Why have a conversation? Well, because they're not intending to have a conversation. MG says, I think boiling water is a good way to fake nuclear. Yeah, it is so. Hyperboreal, thank you, everybody. LA, Thomas Ackerman, hugs, my friend, for you and your loved ones. And remember, folks, Kevin's trying to raise enough to finish out what he's doing. I'm in desperation mode myself, but Kevin's on his way down to do something. I got to raise 400 for my website. That can wait for a few days for people if they'd rather help Kevin out so he can get down to that San Onofre. And everybody else, hugs for everybody. CJ, Nef Killer, everybody else. Miss Milky, got a link in there. And grab it now before the video is over because it'll disappear in a few moments. Okay, folks, that's it for me. We'll talk to everybody as soon as we get an opportunity. Like you say, I wanted to come out and do a little live stream on YouTube because we got the stripe from the Globe and Mail lifted who tried to silence us again. That's all they've ever done to me is destroy me and try to silence me. And so, because people like me can really tear them apart. We've done that today. Very good video, I think. Hugs for everybody. We'll see everybody then.